Chase Ingram. Mike Arsenault is down on the competition floor. We will hear from him in just a second. We have one test down, and here are your overall standings. Jonakoski, who wins the opening test of the CrossFit Games for the third time in his career, picks up 100 points, followed by Jeffrey Adler, Jay Crouch, and Roman Krennikov. The bikes are gone.
Yeah.
Let's just flip some pigs now.
Let's do it one more time, shall we? 10 pig flips, buy into this pyramid chipper out here on the North Park field. 25 chest to bar pull-ups, 50 toes to bar, and then at 100 wall ball shots, smack dab in the middle till you work your way back to the finish.
The recipe for success is delivered by Trifecta. Anything change here for you?
We've seen it. Manage your work well by focusing on your rest on those sets, but save some for the end. It's the pig. We saw it happen multiple heats in a row. Those last 10 flips are the decider.
Let's send it down to Mike Arsenault on the field.
Sean, we have 10,000 pounds of pig on the field of play, and just a tip of the hat to the event team here that is moving the 10,000 pounds each in between each heat to make sure they're in the proper lanes. At 510 pounds per pig, it's actually the heaviest implement in CrossFit Games history that the individual men have attempted. 20 flips here in test number 2, and as Chase said, who can manage these flips the best will emerge victorious.
20 men in this second and final heat. They're all trying to chase down Spencer Panchik, who put up a time of 15 minutes, 20.83 seconds. Justin Medeiros, your two-time defending champion, is out there on the field. He had a slow start.
Yeah, 22nd or 29th place finish in the first heat. It might have been to a bike malfunction, so one of the lowest place finishes he's had in his entire career.
Jelle Hosta is a rookie out of Belgium. He had a much different experience in test number 1.
He absolutely did. A top 10 finish in that test. 3 event wins in semifinals, and one of the most excited people everyone is here to watch for this rookie.
Stand by.
Second and final heat is underway. 15 minutes, 0.2083 seconds is your time to beat. 510 pounds on the pig, about 231 kilos. And all the men here in the second heat are grouped tightly together for the lead. No one has separated himself yet.
Well, the big thing you're looking for on the first 10 is not necessarily who's doing it the fastest, but with the least amount of effort. And it's going to be an indicator of how these 10 are going to be on the back half of this test. Who's moving well? Who's struggling? Who's effortless as they navigate flip for flip for these 10 reps?
Moritz Fiebig on the far side of the field. Now center your screen. He's your leader by a rep over everybody else. 10 total here. And then it's on to the pull-up bar for 25 chest to bar pull-ups.
And more to the top part of your screen. Struggled with that last one, a little bit out of position, but he gets super close. But how fast he gets, he skips his hip. He skipped the hip part. He just power cleaned the pig.
Fiebig will be the first man to the pull-up bar, but not by much, as just about everybody else is done. Pat Vellner has now just finished up his pig flips. Justin Medeiros is still out there.
Well, here's the thing that we saw from Justin in test 1, and I actually talked to Chris Henshaw about this yesterday, is that these athletes need to understand how much the ride is going to take out of them for the rest of the weekend. And Medeiros looked like one of those athletes that just bonked out there on the race course. So the ability to recover, refuel, and get ready for a test like this is one of the big components that are outside the tests themselves.
Roman Krennikov is now your leader. He already completed his 25 chest to bar pull-ups, but for more on Justin Medeiros, let's go down to Mike Arsenault.
Well, I had a chance to speak to Adam Knight for Justin Medeiros' coach between test 1 and test number 2. And Chase, you mentioned during test 1 that Justin was in a good position, that it seemed like he fell off. He actually fell twice on the same lap. That's what led to his 27th place finish in test number 1. But as you mentioned here in test number 2, hasn't rebounded quite yet from that performance.
27th is the worst finish of Justin Medeiros' Games career. Roman Krennikov continues to lead, followed by Will Morad and Lazar Jukic. 85 is the number they're looking to hit before they will move on to the 100 wall balls.
Toe to bar happening right here, right now. Reaching that magic number for 100 wall ball as we come up on 3 minutes. The athletes earlier in the long haul today, number 1, they're out there.
Roman Krennikov, who made his in-person debut at the CrossFit Games last year, finished 2nd overall. Off to a strong start, not only earlier today, but now here in test number 2. Through 70 of the 270 total repetitions. He's got 15 remaining on the toes to bar.
He's got that slow, big cycle on the toes to bar. The only downside is that time under tension. You're hanging onto the bar longer. Your cycle rate's a little bit slower, but the pros there is that you're using a lot more musculature to get the toes to bar done. So the movement itself isn't as difficult to do rep per rep. It's just a little slower.
Lazar Jukic on the left side of your screen is trying to hold off Will Morad for 2nd place. Lawrence Fiebig and Dallin Pepper right now in 4th and 5th. 18-minute time cap here.
And Jukic at 35th place finish and test 1 this morning.
Krennikov is now onto the wall balls, and he will not even hesitate. He picks that thing right up and gets to work.
See a couple strategies here on the wall ball shots. Sets at 20, sets at 25. And you just let the wall ball dictate a little bit of your set. If you find yourself maybe jumping a little bit or pushing a little too hard to get the last 5 reps, it's beneficial to just maybe cut 5 off, cut your sets down. And the wall ball shot is not where you're going to make a huge move on the field, and you definitely don't want to put yourself into a deficit working your way back to the toes to bar.
Approaching the 5-minute mark here as Roman Krennikov continues to lead. He's through 25 of those 100 wall balls and counting. G-Shock is giving you the chance to win a new G-Shock watch, a CrossFit Level 1 seminar, and more than $400 in CrossFit swag. Scan the QR code on your screen right now. Terms and conditions apply. Lazar Jukic and Will Morad continue to hold steady behind Roman Krennikov. Brent Fikowski, meanwhile, is creeping up. He sits in 5th place. And Justin Medeiros is towards the back of the pack right now.
You know, Mike talked about the 2 wrecks he had on the course. I don't know if this is a product of just being smoked from the test earlier or maybe some sort of potential injury from the wrecks themselves. This is very unlike Justin Medeiros.
Brent Fikowski right now is in 5th place, battling with another Canadian, Sam Cornway, for that spot. Trying to gain ground on Dallin Pepper.
Fikowski, that classic sweep of the arms, and a reason why it does that, it keeps his tempo pace on the wall ball shots, but the other is that it allows his arms to drop, shake out for a half a second and come back up, versus, say, holding your arms straight in front of you the entire time. It'd be like working out, but even if you just held your arms in front of your face for a minute, that's a fatiguing element. You let him drop, lets your arms relax for a second, and he brings it back up in time to catch the ball again.
Roman Krennikov continues to lead. He's through 70 of his 100 wall balls. He has a 4-rep lead on Lazar Jukic for 1st place right now. Krennikov coming off a 4th place finish earlier this morning in the opening test ride. Talked about earlier making his in-person debut at the games last year. It was also the first time that he got to meet his newborn son. Top 2 on the screen, Lazar Jukic on the left, Roman Krennikov on the right. Brent Fikowski's now moved into 3rd.
Now, something interesting on Lazar on the left is he's doing sets of 5, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. You see these other athletes maybe doing big sets, sets of 20, sets of 10, taking a 10 to 15 second break. Lazar, set of 5, ball settles, puts his hands on, picks it back up again, and goes into the next set.
Roman Krennikov now in his final rep, and he is done. He will make the turn back to the pull-up bar for 50 more toes to bar. 235, that's the next mark that Roman Krennikov is looking to hit. Scoring hat on top of the screen. The leader's name will be on the far left. And the number in the white box will indicate how many repetitions that man has completed. The number in the white box next to everybody else's name will indicate how many reps they trail the leader. And Jason Hopper is moving on to the toes to bar. Looks like Sam Cornway is done as well. Will Morad chalking up. Here comes Pat Vellner. Vellner right now in 5th place in the heat.
Well, Vellner needs a big finish here in this test. Starting the day off in a 27th place finish this morning on the ride.
As we are 9 minutes and 30 seconds in.
But Vellner always has a bounce back event. Usually it's here at the North Park. And he does it in dramatic fashion. It's either bottom 30, and then he comes back with a test win.
Lazar Jukic has now moved into 1st place ahead of Roman Krennikov. A lot of athletes with those grips on their hands as they work through these toes to bar. And Bear Complex is giving viewers of the 2023 Noble CrossFit Games 20% off site-wide. You can head to bearcomplex.com to redeem that offer. Jason Hopper now sits in 3rd place as Roman Krennikov is trying to retake the lead from Lazar Jukic. Pat Vellner is in 5th, neck and neck with Cornway and Morad.
Vellner's about 30 reps in to those 50 toes to bar, where Jukic, Krennikov about 5 reps left each.
Vellner in that blue shirt, center your screen. 235, that's the number that Jukic and Krennikov are closing in on, and then it's 25 chest to bar pull-ups from them before they head back to the pig for 10 final flips.
The first round of 25 chest to bar pull-ups, Jukic did it in about 49 seconds, Krennikov 39 seconds. As they're only separated by 6 seconds at the moment.
And Jason Hopper there on the middle of the box on the right side. And now Justin Medeiros is the last man on the wall balls. This is not what anyone expected to see right now.
Absolutely not, Sean. And he's moving well. Doesn't seem any physical ailments here. But just the fatigue, like you said, is just sitting down in a staring contest with the med ball in between sets. You just look at that body language.
Medeiros is now moving back to the pull-up bar for his toes to bar, but we have a long way to go here. But 2 finishes towards the bottom. That is hard to make up with this field.
We said it coming in. There's about 5 or 6 guys that are all in contention for podium spots and to win here.
And one of them is that man, Roman Krennikov, onto the pig for the final time. Lazar Jukic right behind him. This has been the fight for the lead this entire heat pretty much. Time to beat belongs to Spencer Panchik, 15 minutes, 20.83 seconds.
Jukic needs a good finish after this morning.
Here comes Pat Vellner. Vellner now in third place. And now Jason Hopper is off as well.
First set of 10 pig flips. Krennikov, Jukic, and Hopper were all about 1:15 with Vellner 8 seconds behind them. But as you said, every heat so far, there's a big difference between the first 10 flips and the last 10 flips.
Brent Fikowski is off. He's in that dark tank top and white shorts. Jason Hopper now moves into third. Fikowski right to work. Will Morad is getting set to start his final set of pig flips, and here comes Sam Cornwallier. Krennikov and Jukic dead even here. Now 5 flips remaining for both of them.
Look out for Brent Fikowski.
Vellner has now tied Fikowski and Hopper. Morad creeping up, and Cornwallier as well. Roman Krennikov has 3 left. Jukic has 3 left. Fikowski has moved solidly into third place ahead of Vellner and Morad.
Roman's found it. Roman's found his rhythm.
2 reps left for Roman Krennikov. Final rep for Roman Krennikov. And start printing the leader's jersey with that man's name on it. He's gonna win test 2. Lazar Jukic is gonna come across. Brent Fikowski looking to finish third in the heat. And maybe third place in the test.
And Brent, who finished 10th at the bike, could be in a top 3 position going into the third test tonight.
And Fikowski is in.
Jukic desperately needed that for points, but for Fikowski's fight to get back on the podium, that was huge.
Top of your screen is Moritz Fiebig. He did really well on this implement to start, and now Fiebig is going to get in behind Fikowski and ahead of Vellner. And now Vellner is across, and a much better result for Pat Vellner, as that will be good enough for 5th in the heat, 6th place in the test, as Sam Cornwallier is across. Will Morad on his final flip, and Morad is done. 2 minutes to go before we hit that 18-minute time cap. Jay Crouch down in lane 19. He and Hopper are leading. Meanwhile, this on the right side is pretty shocking. Justin Medeiros has yet to get off the pull-up bar.
He's also right next to Sam Kwan, who got 4th last year.
Here comes Jason Hopper.
Jason Hopper has finished. Now we cut down to 30 after tomorrow.
Man.
Just something to keep in the back of your mind if this slow start for Justin Medeiros, if he's not able to correct this tonight.
Olsen getting underneath the pig, trying to flip it and get it done.
And tonight with that gymnastic skills test,
4 reps to go.
I mean, anything can happen with that type of execution-based test. And Sean, it's wild to think that you're talking about the 2-time back-to-back champ just trying to make the first 30 cut, depending on what happens tonight.
We'll get a long way to go. But he had his career worst finish in the prior test as Noah Olsen and Luke Parker race across the finish line. But Medeiros is possibly staring at his next worst career finish, if not his worst career finish in this test. 30 seconds to go before we hit the 18-minute time cap. Alex Vigneault with one final flip. And he is in. And it's Heinrich Haapelainen who sneaks across with a couple seconds to spare. And Jonakoski, who won test one, he's going to get capped. And Justin Medeiros is going to get time capped as well. And depending on how many reps he completed, Medeiros right now looking at a 37th place finish in this test.
Sean, you said we had a lot to go. You just got to get yourself in position to set yourself up for success. I can only think of, and not comparing the two, but I can only think of Rich Froning 2014. Took a 27th place finish in one test. Took a 37th place finish in another test. Still ended up coming back and winning the games.
Well, Roman Krenikov looks to be your overall leader heading into the third and final test of the day, and he was able to hold off Lazar Jukic late.
And Krenikov was doing big sets. And Jukic opting for fives on the wall ball, and that kind of set him up nice in the gymnastics portion.
Here comes
Roman Krenikov, slow start on the pig, but we said on those last five, he got his rhythm and made quick work towards the end.
Mike Arsenault was with Roman Krenikov and his translator.
Thank you very much, Sean. Roman, great performance here on test number 2. What is the difference level in your preparation this year compared to last year, since you've had a year of living and training in the United States?
Да, в этом году намного круче подготовка прошла, потому что я приобрел новую семью, новую команду, окружил себя людьми, которые также горят целью стать самым физически подготовленным человеком на земле. Очень крутая команда, и благодаря ей здесь я показываю вам все, что я проделал за год.
He absolutely loves this year. He surrounded himself with the greatest people in the sport. His team and friends and new family members, they helped him with preparing to this game. CrossFit Mayhem is an incredible place, and they helped him to show you guys the best he can ever be.
Roman, there's a very good chance unofficially that after the first 2 tests, you're going to be wearing the white leaders jersey for the first time in your CrossFit Games career. What does that mean to you?
Ой, я никогда не поддаюсь этим эмоциям, потому что прошло только 2 ивента, еще впереди 90% работы, так что я особо это никак не воспринимаю. Просто, круто.
He is very excited, but he doesn't pay emotions to it. There's 90% more of work to be done until the end of the CrossFit Games. So he's very excited. It's cool, but there's a lot of work to be done.
Congratulations. We'll see you for test number 3.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Roman Krenikov, 14:28.77 seconds. His second straight finish inside the top 4, locks up 100 points, and looks to be your overall leader heading into the third and final test of the day. Lazar Jukic is going to finish second. Brent Fikowski will take third, and Spencer Panchik, who won Heat 1, will wind up in 4th place.